Khuzestan, an ancient eternal land, with hospitable people, warm region, fertile soil, flowing rivers, and fabulous and fantastic memorials, is like a shining ring that reminds the people of all over the world of the ruins of its magnificent history, to retell the mystery of eternality and antiquity of Iranian civilization and culture. The eternal mud bricks of Dur Untash. Various glorious civilizations and cities, such as Shusha, the capital of Elamite government, were established in the ancient and fertile land of Khuzestan. Elamite ruled from 2800 to 500 BC. Achaemenian dynasty ruled after them. Many documents of the Persepolis, such as workers' insurance documents, which is written in Elamite language, shows Elamites' undeniable effect on Achaemenians and all Iranians' culture. Babylonians' remained documents lived in the west of Elamite contemporary with them is one of the most important references to know Elamite. Elamite is driven from the word Elamto. Babylonians called Elamite region Elamto, which means highland on mountain, since there is a flat land from the region to Bakhtiyari mountain that is the beginning of Elamite country. Elamite governing country included Khuzestan, Lorestan, Elam, Bushehr, Fars, and sometimes Isfahan. Shusha, located in 120 kilometers north of Ahwaz, and Anshan, which is named Talimalian today, located 80 kilometers northwest of Shiraz, were two important Elamite cities. According to historical documents, religion played an important role in their lives. They believed in a multi-god religion. They believed every good thing is a gift of gods and goddesses. First, the goddesses were more powerful than gods. After centuries, gods started to be more powerful than the goddesses. Inshushinak, the Shusha city god, take the position of first god when Shusha changed as an ordinary city to the capital of Elamite. Antash-Napirisha, an Elamite king, built a religious city on the west bank of Diz River between Shusha and Shushtar in Khuzestan about 1250 BC. It was called Dur Untash, which means Untash city. This city with an area of about 100 hectares, was surrounded by mud brick walls. Every building of this city was made of bricks and mud bricks. Bitumen and gypsum were used to stick them together. Stone, a traditional plaster which is called saruj, and metal were used in buildings too. Untash-Napirisha built special temples for every gods who were worshipped in Elamite country. The most important temple of this city was a ziggurat, which was built in the central part of the city. Ziggurat has been driven from Akkadi verb zegaru, which means building high structures. Ziggurat is a multi-story building in which every story area is smaller than its lower floor. Elamite king dedicated this ziggurat to Napirisha and Inshushinak, two high-ranked gods of Elamite country.
من اونتاشگال عبادتگاهی با طاق‌های آجری ساختم، نیایشگاهی عالی برای خدای اینشوشیناک و آن را به رب مقدس هدیه کردم و در آن زیگوراتی به سمت آسمان افراشتم. باشد که کارها و اعمال من مورد قبول خدای اینشوشیناک قرار دارد.
Late French archaeologist Roman Girshman believed ziggurat had 5 stories with 52 meters height. Half of the ziggurat, with a height about 25 meters, is left now. He believed Inshushinak and Napirisha statues were kept on the 5th floor that was decorated with green, blue, and shining embalmed bricks. Each side of ziggurat length is about 102.2 meters. Its corners coincide 4 main geographic directions, a document to prove this monument builder's knowledge about geographic directions. The construction of every story began from the ground level. 3 kinds of bricks were used to build this ziggurat: brick, mud brick, and mud brick containing broken bricks. The central or the highest floor is made of armed mud brick, which was discovered for the first time in this ziggurat. The central core of this ziggurat was made of mud bricks, which is covered by a 2-meter thick brick layer. This layer prevented ziggurat from raining erosion. The core and its cover are joined with each other by trunk of trees, which is covered by bitumen. To strengthen each wall, a wall with 1 meter height and 3 meters thickness was built beside it on the top of the lower floor. This ziggurat is safer comparing with other ziggurats. Brick cover and waterway channels are stable factors of this ziggurat. The bricks of channels are water resistant with gypsum and bitumen. The waterway channels, which are square shaped and vertical, were built in the center of brick cover of the ziggurat, coming down vertically, then changing to a horizontal channel with arch ceiling on the top of the lower floor surface. Brick steps were built where the channel direction changes to protect it from water falling erosion. An advanced system of clay pipes collects and sends out the raining water. There is a stairway which was closed by a gate in the middle of each side of the ziggurat for going upstairs. Each stair begins from the ziggurat court, then it is connected to a tiny doorway and a porch. Then another stair begins, which is joined to a flat space floor. There is a double stair which is similar to the first part of the Persepolis main stairway on each side of this flat space to go on the top of the first floor. The way to the main temple, which was located on the 5th floor, was southwest stairway. It said only the great clergyman could go to the main temple. Documents are very important in history. The most acceptable documents are written documents that were written during constructing historical buildings, then discovered there during archaeological discovery. Something was written on one of every 11 rows of ziggurat wall bricks. 5,275 bricks and mud bricks, which were written in Elamite and Akkadi language, were discovered in Dur Untash in 1965, a document of Iranian ancient knowledge and high literature. There are flat courts with different shapes around the 4 sides of the ziggurat, which are surrounded by the central wall of the city. People walked on these courts during pilgrimage ceremony. One of the most interesting signs of human life is a child foot's track on the brick cover of the ziggurat court, which is marked after passing more than thousands of years. We can imagine that a ceremony similar to Muslims' annual pilgrimage in Mecca might have taken place here. An engraved design from Elamite time shows a religious ceremony. God's statue is being carried over people's shoulders in a musical ceremony. were cylindrical structures in front of ziggurat stairways. It is said cuneiform boards or statues were put on these structures. The safest, which is semi-reconstructed, is the southwest one. There are 4 arch ceilings around this structure. One of them is in front of ziggurat stairway. According to what is written on its bricks, Untash-Napirisha dedicated this, which was called Shishno-Ripi, to Inshushinak and Napirisha. Inshushinak B temple was constructed on the first floor of the ziggurat. A brick entablature was built in front of the temple entrance. Its doorway ceiling is nearly safe now. This temple included 5 rooms, one of which was closed. The last 2 rooms, which are located at the end of the temple, were separated from other rooms by a door. Untash-Napirisha's name was written on one of the stones, which was used as bolt holes. Inshushinak statue was located on a brick entablature in the last room. Remainder of these entablatures can be seen in other Elamite temples. Some enameled clay pieces were discovered during archaeological discovery. Mrs. Girshman reconstructed a bull statue with them. There was a cuneiform inscription on its back, which shows Untash-Napirisha dedicated it to the temple as a guard. Many black and white bars were discovered during excavation. These snake-shaped bars that decorated the doors were symbols of guards against devil. There is a flat stone on the southeast stairway and another cylindrical one at northwest court of the ziggurat. They were used as up and down hinges of thick doors. Untash-Napirisha built special temples for every god with a statue or bas-relief of the god in it. 3 long walls were in Dur Untash. The second wall surrounded Holy Quarter. Gods and goddesses temples were built in the Holy Quarter. Napirisha and Inshushinak's temples were built in the ziggurat. Ishni-Karat and 2 Kirisha's temples have a special position near the northwest side of the ziggurat. Napirisha's temple is the only separated and alone one in Dur Untash, which is located near the northern gate of the Dur Untash central wall. He had a position as the greatest god or great supporter. 4 temples were built on the east of Holy Quarter. The first temple belonged to Pinkir goddess, who had the highest position among gods and goddesses centuries before building this city. She was human and animals' fertility goddess. The second one belonged to Im, the goddess of storm, and Shala god. The third one was dedicated to Shimut, the most popular goddess of Elamite and the symbol of fertility, together with Ninali, the city lady goddess. The statues of Neprateps, 8 goddesses who provided people's sustenance, were kept in the last temple. The temples of Hishmitic and Ruhaatir gods were built on the northeast of the ziggurat. There is a remainder of a structure in this temple. Some believe it was a bathroom to wash gods in an annual ceremony. Dur Untash used to have an outer, middle, and central fort. The third or central fort of Dur Untash is a wall with a length about 520 meters surrounding the ziggurat and its court. The second wall of the city was about 1,625 meters long, 10 meters high, and 5 meters thick. There were 4 gates on this wall. The largest and most important was Northeastern Gate, which was located in front of the Exalted Temple. Pilgrims who would come to Dur Untash would enter the Holy Court from this gate on a route which is covered by bricks, divided to 3 routes to eastern, northeastern, and northern gates of the central wall. Shusha Gate is located on the southwest wall. There was a route beside this gate to Shusha. There had been a simple gate on the southeast wall, which was closed at the same time. King Gate is located on the southeast wall. There is a remainder of a tower, which was decorated by embalmed bricks on the second wall between closed and king gates. According to brick cuneiforms, it was called Nur Kiprat, which means the light of all over the world. The importance of shining light to this tower should be taken into consideration. Ancient Iranian engineers had an advanced knowledge of dam construction and water convection. Several kilometer-long channels dug in stones, canets, and dams, which were left from thousands of years ago, proves this knowledge. There is a water structure left on the northwest fort of Dur Untash. Its bricks are water resistant by gypsum and bitumen. 9 small water channels connect to a reservoir of this structure, which are in the both sides of the wall. Some believe it is the oldest water purification structure on the earth. Others believe it is a way to send raining water out of the city. Kingship Quarter is located at the southeast of the city, containing a palace tomb, 2 other palaces, a worship place, and the city entrance gate. Thun Palace is a palace built on basements that was used as tombs. It was a palace containing some small and big rooms and a court with a pool that its water was sent to a well through clay pipes. Roman Girshman, according to his previous experience from Assyrian tombs, concluded there must be dead bodies buried in the basement after discovering this palace. Then he discovered 5 tombs with curved ceilings. The curved ceilings that are built from bricks and water resistant by gypsum and natural bitumen are still remained safe after passing more than 32 centuries. It proves an advanced civil engineering and architecture knowledge of ancient Iranians. To enter these underground tombs, there are some stairs. The cuneiforms found in tombs indicate that the Elamites believed in after-death life. There was another palace on the northeast of the Thun Palace, which is almost destroyed by flood. The remainder of the third palace contains rooms and 2 wide courts located on the northeastern side of the city entrance. According to the brick cuneiforms, the city gate, which was built on the southeast ford of Dur Untash, was called Kingdom Entrance or Kingdom Gate. This gate was very important because of the city security, so 3 doors were constructed there respectively. It is the only gate of Dur Untash with this feature. The entrance castle was before the kingdom entrance with a square yard. Rooms were built round 3 sides of this court. There was a worship place located in 180 meters southwest of the Thun Palace, an open worship place without ceiling. According to cuneiforms which were discovered there, it belonged to Nosko god, who was related to fire. It seems that Nosko worship place was especially for the Elamites' kingdom.
من اونتاش گال پسر هوبا نومنا شاه انزان بشوش برای آنکه زندگی و سلامتیم در روزهای متعدد و برای آنکه به پادشاهی کامکار خود عمل کنم نهری به شأن و نام خودم جاری ساختم. ای خدایان گال و انشوشیناک، این هدیه را از من بپذیرید.
Dur Untash was destroyed by the army of Assyrian tyrant king Ashurbanipal. Although being a residential place for centuries later, people left there and it was forgotten finally. In the 1940s, a geologist who was searching to discover oil saw a hill in the desert. He found a brick cuneiform. This hill was like a muddy shell which had a pearl of ancient Iranians' architecture and knowledge in itself, the ziggurat of Dur Untash. This hill is similar to an inverted basket, so it is called Choga Zanville, which means basket hill. Choga Zanville, the Persepolis, and Nakhsh Jahan Square of Isfahan were recorded in UNESCO's World List of Cultural Heritage in 1979. Pasargad, which contains the tomb and palaces of Cyrus the Great, the well-known founder of human rights, Takht Suleiman of West Azerbaijan, and Argebam were added to this list later. Iran is one of the first 10 countries of the world because of its diversity of cultural heritage. So if you're interested in cultural heritage, historical and antique buildings, we invite you to come to our country. Be sure you not only will enjoy visiting a nice country, but also be surprised because of Iranians' hospitality.